And here we go again. Today I'd like to have a look at a program to help us sort files. One of the problems I've had recently is that my drives tend to get very mixed up. I have 3 drives, terabyte each. I have backup drives, a junk dump, which a lot of my regular viewers will remember seeing from time to time. I've also got another drive called web stuff, where I keep stuff that goes on the web. Wow, isn't that ingenious the way I've named these, eh? There is all my stuff, but I can go into like an archive and that's all mixed up. It's very similar to if I go to the website for the group and that's all mixed up, and I can go on like this for a considerable length of time. Looking at that, there is nearly 400 gigs of data on the website drive. There is nearly 300 gigs in the junk dump, as well as having my C drive spare, which I try to keep it that way. Anyway, it's how can I compare what's in this drive? I don't know where to start. I'm not even going to try to begin to show you what's on there, because there is so much stuff all mixed up and done in there that it would take too long to explain it all. And the same with the other drives. So I need to look at it. I need to do a comparison. And I have come across this program. It's called Total Commander. And to be honest, I don't remember the website for it now. I'll show you where I got it from, because that'll be becoming useful for not only this but other similar programs. We go to freeware files, and in the search box here we can type Commander. As you can see, it's already printed in there, and do a search. Quite a considerable numbers of Commander files. Multi-Commander, Free Commander, blah blah blah, Media Commander, Fast Explorer. There is a lot of different ones that you can have on there. Some are pretty basic. Commander 1.39, that's quite a basic program, but it works. It's good in as much as it works. Mu Commander, there is lots of different ones here. Another 5 pages after this of just commanders. Anyway, I went through and I browsed around, and I suggest you do the same. Find one that you like and have a look at it, and I'll show you what we did. I've downloaded the one, as I said, I've downloaded the Total Commander. It's not a big file. In fact, I'll tell you how big it is. It is, in fact, 4 megabytes, nearly 5 megabytes. So it's not a massive program. When you install it, it does get a little bit bigger. Right, so I'll click on this. There's a 64-bit version. Now, when you come to it, you get your agreements and what have you, and this rather quaint way of going into it. Each time you come into the program, you have to select a button. And I guess that's just to stop robots from using it, etc. You know what I mean? It's annoying sometimes, but I find it quite quaint. Got to hit number 2 this time. I can do that all day. It's like a little game. And if you get the number right, it's a jackpot, because you get to see what's on the drives. So I have D drive here on this side of the... I'll make them bigger, I think, just to show things along. Okay, so we have my D drive, which you can see here on this side, and also my E drive on this side. I haven't bothered with C drive because I do tend to keep that clean, as I've showed you on previous occasions, that I may download to C drive, but then as soon as I can I move it off onto a different drive. I have a lot of stuff here. This is the main one, documents to keep. I have an inordinate amount of documents that I need for X, Y, Z, stuff I've done myself. Our dustbins get very confused when the whole group of them are out together to be emptied, so I put labels on mine. Excuse me. I've also got my licenses for Camtasia, the program I'm using to do this programming. Also got little things like Rudyard Kipling's if you can keep your head while all about and losing theirs, then and blaming it on you, etc., and so forth. So I've got lots of little things. It's more like a collection of stuff. My stepdaughter just recently married a maths teacher, and she's become a maths teacher herself, and I downloaded a lot of jokes to do with math teachers, which is Yeah, okay, I'll just read him on there, and okay, not go into that. So yeah, I had lots of jokes I downloaded off the internet, haven't used them yet, so they're still sitting there waiting to be used. So there is lots and lots of stuff all mixed up into that's just one folder, for heaven's sake. What am I like? Right, let's have a look at the program first before we look at my drives. It's a fairly complicated looking layout here. Basically you have one drive, and it doesn't matter, you can have, if you've got a partition on your drive, which we showed last month how to create a partition, you can put C drive and your new partition on the other side. If you've got a DVD, you can put a DVD on this other side, and it's up to you how you use it. Configuration is handy. Start menu, change the start menu. What's the point, because you can go into configuration anyway and do it all in there. So let's have a look at the options. The options are quite numerous, but fairly simple to do, and they're fairly straightforward. Display, it shows you how to display the various items. Icons, you can make the icons bigger, you can make them smaller, you can let me just change something here. Here, icon size, I can do 64 by 64 and apply that. And look, massive icons, they're too big, far too big. Anyway, I find, yeah, anything's okay. You go with whatever you want. If you've got bad eyesight or poor eyesight, you might need to play with them. The same with the font as well, for the fonts you use here. Just coming down the list here. Font is the next one on the list. Set dots per inch, DPI 96 it's set at. Change the font, so if you wanted a different font, it'll have a look on your computer to see what you've got. I used to like a font called Devro, or Devroy, I should say. I can't even find it now. Oh dear, dear. But you have to remember, there it is, Devroy. Make it Devroy 10, okay. Apply that, and you can see now all my script at the background has changed. It's all Devroy. Be careful what you choose there, because if you think and try to be clever and you put in something, I don't know, archaic, maybe like let's find something really ridiculous here. Oh, what's that one? Yes, embossed black. Okay, let's do that. Okay, and apply that. I mean, that is going to lead to confusion if nothing else does. That is a bit, yeah, a bit over the top, that. So we don't want to do that. What we want to do is just go for the ones, like I said, Devroy, which it's quite pleasant looking. You can leave it as it is, in fact. You don't have to change it at all. If you're used to reading one particular style of writing, because a lot of these come with script, the sort of thing you do if you had a pen in your hand. There we go, we'll change that. Okay, apply that. And we're back to Devroy. So you can customize this to make it look as pretty or as ugly as you want it to do. What is nice for me may not be nice for you. So we've done icons, we've done the color. I wouldn't, if I were you, change these color settings. They are nicely laid out. You can highlight very simply, and it'll make the highlights stand out. Like you can see the junk dump at the top here, D, how it stands out. No need to change them. It's up to you though. If you want to, that is where you do it. Tab stops, you can sort out where the tabs are on the page. It's up to you entirely. Folder tabs, again, lots of choice, lots of variation as well, so it can look totally different. Just customize it for what you want. Custom columns if you want. View mode, you can go into auto switch the mode or view it in a particular way. Languages, whatever language you speak, you have a lot of choice here. English through to the one at the bottom, which I believe is simplified Chinese. I'd hate to see the complex version, but there's lots of different versions. But you know, it's nice, it covers everybody. Operation, only allow one copy of Total Commander at a time. That would make sense unless you have more than, say, 2 or 3 different drives. You might want to run 2 or 3 different packages. It's up to you. And there is lots on this menu which you can personalize it and just get it nice. That's up to you. Have a look through those. Oops, sorry, missed that one. Edit, view menu. Internal viewer with file under cursor, internal viewer with selected files, etc. You can go mad here. Notepad is a default editor, so even if you want to change a bit of code that you've got on your computer, you can do it there as well. Copy and delete, fairly straightforward, don't need to spend much time on there. It has a limit to the buffer size, so you can, go back so far and forward so far, but you can overdo it, so be careful with that one. Refresh the screen or refresh the list, so if you've done a lot of manipulation in there, you can quite simply just refresh it and you can see exactly how things are currently. Quick search, so if you lost a file and you particularly want to look for a file, that's great. FTP, File Transfer Protocol. I have a separate FTP for my computer that I'm particularly like and I'm confident with. Plugins, there are quite a few plugins available for the Commander, and you can download those from that same site I showed you, freeware files. Thumbnails, you can have little thumbnails, you can have log files, you can have a little list of ignore stuff. If you want to ignore something which you have on the drive, I mean, this Anime Studio, the only reason that is there is because I used that quite a bit and ended up putting a few little scratches on the disk, and so I copied everything to my computer and hope that I don't need to use my scratch disk again. I don't want anything to change them, so I can actually click that onto it being an ignore file. Packer and zip packer, fairly straightforward. You know whether you like to zip things up using ARJ packer or LHA or rare, whatever. It's up to you. ACE even on there, I've just noticed that. WinAce. Zip packer, that will put a PK zip, fairly standard to Microsoft nowadays. It used to be an independent company, but I think it's been adopted by Microsoft. And of course the miscellaneous entries. Read through that. You can define hotkeys in there for remapping, etc. Go through it yourself. Be careful, and if you do make a change, write down what it is currently, so that if the change you make doesn't work, you can always pop back and change it back to where it was. Custom sounds. I haven't touched that, I'll be honest. I don't know quite what to expect on there, but I have enough noises coming out of my computer at any one time without adding to it. Anyway, that's just one of the menus items at the top. You can show considerable amounts of various things here: brief, full, comments, custom columns mode, view modes, etc., and so forth and so on. There is quite a lot to be going through. Again, a lot of this stuff is actually covered in the configuration file. The network connection, if you want to use this on the network, maybe between several computers, it's quite viable to do that. Network connection, you need to, I'm not quite sure what you need to put in there. I think I've done it. You need your folder where stuff is going to go, the drive, so you need to configure that yourself, and yours will certainly be different to mine, and mine will be certainly different to anybody else's. So tread carefully. You can connect FTP, make a new connection, show or hide files. It's up to you. Commands, this is quite interesting. CD tree. I'm not sure how long this is going to take. I tried it on a pen drive earlier on, and it's fairly quick. So this is basically, I'm going to stop it there because it's going on too long. But basically, you can sort out a tree and have a look at things on the tree and that goes down. So it'll be more like a family tree, if you like, which will give you a very graphic display. Okay, so CD tree search, fairly straightforward. Separate processes search, so if you've got another search you want to do, it's quite viable that you do it at the same time. Volume label, you can change the volume label. As you can see, I have junk dump on this one. Yeah, it is junk dump. I don't even want to change it, to be honest, so but that's where you would change it. Directory hot list, I'm not quite sure what that would be. Maybe escape from that. So much in this program, it is so multifaceted that it would take a lot. To become totally efficient with it and know what every menu item does, you would need to use it a lot. And if you're going to use it a lot, I would suggest that you maybe add a donation to the Total Commander here. It's version 9.22a. You can pay a little bit with PayPal or MasterCard, whatever you like, or Visa, get your registration, etc. I'm not quite sure how much they charge. I'll click on Visa and see what they say here. Right, it's about 40 frisch, right, which is about $42 US, which in turn be about 29-30 pounds UK. If you're going to use it a lot, then please, buy yourself a copy, and you'll be able to find out all these little functions as well. Mark, select a group, unselect a group, select all, unselect all. I think those are fairly straightforward. I don't think there's anything that needs explanation here. Files, menu, change attributes, which is very clever. So if you've got some attributes stuck onto a photograph, for example, you want to change, that's where you can do it. You can pack or unpack specific files. You can test the archive. You can compare folders by content, and even files by content. You can add an association to files, in other words, what program you use to actually open them up. Properties, no file selected, properties of a file. Calculate the space occupied. Multi-rename tool. Now if you're a photographer and you have a rolling number on the photographs you take, you might be interested in this multi-renaming tool. Well worth looking into. As a commander, this will do it all very efficiently and very quickly, and it's very good if you need to just change, I don't know, if you wanted to change all the pictures you took today to my pictures on the beach 1, my pictures on the beach 2, etc. That's where you would do that. Edit a comment. If you've linked a comment to one of your files, you can edit it quite simply just by clicking on there, or Control Z using the keys. Print, you can print a file list, you can print a list of files with subdirectories, etc., and file contents. You can split a file, so if you've got a massive file that you maybe want to send to somebody, say it's 5 gigabytes big, but you've only got a 4 gigabyte data pen, then that's an ideal thing, because you can split the file into 2 bits, give it to your mate who's got a copy of this as well, and then combine the file. So it's all here. You can add you can encode a file, you can add a decode a file, create a checksum, whatever, and verify the checksums, more importantly. So that is just a brief overview of what this particular program does. It is so clever, and it's so full of little different bits and pieces. Photography, let's have a look at, I don't know, Minecraft pictures. That's fairly simple. If I click on the icon here for PaintShop Pro as it is, that will bring up Minecraft pictures, and you can look, you can edit, you can change things around, and then at the end of that you can save it back to wherever you got it from in the first place. Very, very useful. Don't know what that is, can't remember. Old picture. In fact, there's another nice thing here that tells me that was taken on the 14th of August 2016 at 3:10 apparently. Let's have a look at another one here. There was a chest in one of the buildings on Minecraft, and that was taken on 18th of January 2016. Fairly recent, really. Look at this one. Right, that's a bit of a rubbish one. I think with Minecraft, I don't know about anyone else who plays the game, but occasionally you reach up to hit a key and catch the wrong one, and that ends up taking a photograph. Come on, there we go. Yep, that's what happened there too. So I really need this. Actually, it'd be very good to go through this folder, because some of this is just absolute rubbish. Click on delete. Do you really want to move it? No, I don't. Cancel that. Click that. Yep, it's now been moved to the recycling bin, which is where it will live until I delete it. Again, you can take these little pictures. These are all ones. I think what it is if you press F3 in the game, it shows you coordinates of where you are, etc. It shows you sort of things that you're building, and how to get back to them, more importantly. I'm trying to find a picture very quickly with the coordinates on, but I can't see it. A beautiful church there. No, I haven't got any with the coordinates on. But this particular this particular folder is full of basically rubbish, so we need to really get that sorted. Anyway, that's it. If I press F3 for the coordinates, the take a screenshot is F2 beside it, and sometimes if you're engrossed with what you're doing, here we go, that's the coordinate picture there, telling me I'm at, where are we, X 237, Y 81 and 86 as is written there. Unfortunately that button is right next to the screenshot button, so that's the reason I've got so much junk. The idea of coming into the program like this and sorting your file, arranging your files, let me just see if there's something simple I can do here. Supposing I wanted game stuff, icon folder, Kevin and the Ghost, laptop drivers, that'd be handy to move. Maybe we can move that. Yeah, there we go. That will move it over to the other folder here. As I say, the hardest thing about this program, I would say, is actually setting up the configurations and all the rest of it that it entails there. So how are we doing? It's copying 2,000, no, it's copying 11,000. How much have I got altogether? There it is, done now anyway. So now on this side we should have laptop drivers, unless I've actually copied them into a folder, which I'll need to sort out. That is the program. This is called Total Commander, and it's version 9.22. So if you want to really get to grips with your computer, find out where files are, find out where your programs are, saves is another thing which a lot of programs tend to be a little bit obscure about, then that's the way to do it. And that is it. That's what the program's about, is actually looking, examining your files, finding out where miscellaneous folders are, where miscellaneous files are. I hope you've enjoyed looking over my computer. It's been sort of fun showing you. It's more fun learning a new program, and I must confess that I am still learning this one. It's one I only found the other day, and I thought, oh, I'd really like to have that. And at the same time, really good to give a demonstration of it as I'm learning. So if you have any other suggestions you'd like to see in operation, and you think, oh, I don't want to do it myself, I want somebody else to do it for me, have any suggestions, let me know through the comment section on YouTube, and I will see if I can oblige. So there we go. Thank you very much for listening, and as usual I ask you to subscribe to my channel and stick the thumbs up, because that's what I like. Thank you very much, and bye for now.